Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Formula One podcast, straight to the apex. They're all here. All the guys are here. Mark, James, Tony, bringing you all the Formula One news, race reviews, race previews, everything you could possibly want from a Formula One podcast rolled into a hilarious bundle. Before we start, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Reviews. The name of the game at the moment is reviews. Drop us a review. If you like this podcast, let us and other people know by leaving us a review. The guys will appreciate it, I know that much, and we'll all appreciate it when we get those lovely reviews. Right, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast, straight to the apex.
Written down all my predictions.
This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening, good morning, welcome. Season 2, Episode 2, straight to the apex, the Formula One podcast, live on CookieCast. With me as always, to my left, Mr. James Stainforth.
Hello.
And under me on the screen, it's the one and only Anthony Rawson.
Who was almost on time and then decided to go for a wee.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be recording the podcast if he didn't do something stupid.
I mean, at least it was a one-two, not a twos.
Well, we don't want any accidents. Not in season 2. We're all grown-ups now. We're all grown-ups.
Well,
I'm not wearing my diaper.
Well, as always, I'd like to thank CookieCast and Andy. While we're on the subject of CookieCast, I'd like to promote, do you like wrestling? WWE? Listen to their Getting Over podcast, especially this week, as they have a special guest from Monopoly Events, the people behind the Love of Wrestling convention. Big coup getting someone like that. So if you do like wrestling, listen in. The Love of Wrestling convention is in April this year, 2023, 29th to 30th of April at the BEC Arena, Manchester. So if you like wrestling or you want to see Tony and maybe just pound his ass like we do every single week on this podcast, get yourself there. That's the business stuff. How are we? Have we watched Testing? Have we watched any Netflix documentaries?
Well, talking about pounding, I've been pounding Drive to Survive for the past...
I really didn't know where he was going to go with that then.
Well, I've heard that you have, in quotation marks, watched it / had it on in the background while you were snoring.
I got to...
I was going to say, was he sleeping?
I got to episode 8 and then I fell asleep. And then I woke up mid-episode 10 and we've literally just tonight gone back and watched the first half of episode 10 and finished it. So I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it. I started off moaning and saying it's a bit like a soap, this, and they're trying to dramatize it. But actually, I found it quite enjoyable. I think it's because I watched it last season and I fell for a lot of bullshit. So this season, I kind of took everything with a pinch of salt. I found it really entertaining. What about you?
Have you watched it all, James?
I hadn't watched it all. I did fall asleep in the last 5 minutes of episode 1. I did a bit of a Tony. But I've managed to stay awake through the rest of the episodes. I think I'm 5 episodes in, I think. The last one I watched without spoiling it, well, there's no spoilers, but was the one about Schumacher, was the last one we watched.
Right, okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Now, I finished it last night. I watched the last 2 episodes last night. We'll talk about it in the weeks to come because I've got some interesting points about it. There's certain bits I think they've missed out, which could have been more of a talking point. quite like some of the bits that are included. You've got some good episodes to come up, James. Some very good.
Nice.
Episodes.
Very good episode.
I just think that I can see why a lot of people have got into Formula One on the back of this, and they really must be bored when they watch a race.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that's gone on, it is over dramatized. It is being made into something that it's not. It sells. It's got Formula One bigger numbers.
Yeah. We've all seen the Horner up to his old tricks in episode, was it 2 or 3?
I mean,
just shitting on Mercedes.
He's already sworn, James. There's no challenge this week. Get in.
Yeah.
He's not hosting this week, so he's not professional. He don't give a shit.
Yeah, he don't care.
I do think that it should be called Drive to Survive with Red Bull and Christian Horner, because he does include himself a hell of a lot on that program.
You know what I'm sick of as well? Going back to his house. Why we don't need to keep going back to the Horner residence.
With Jerry. I know.
No one gives a fuck about
it. Just go to the wife's room. Just go in Jerry's room. Forget the rest of it.
Well,
Jerry. All we want. And yes, if you haven't told us about that, when I was at school, yes, it was Jerry was my favourite Spice Girl.
Really? Oh. Man was Baby Spice.
Baby all the way.
I'm surprised Tony knows who the Spice Girls are.
Baby? I don't know, Baby was my favourite. There was Sporty. What else was there?
Come on.
Oh,
right,
come on.
We've got Sporty and Baby. Name the others. Come on.
Cinnamon.
Cardamom. Sporty. Come on. Baby. Sporty.
I don't know.
One of them's married to David Beckham.
Posh. It's posh, isn't it?
Well done.
Posh Spice.
What? Not Old Spice.
Yeah, mate.
Jerry. What was Jerry Halliwell's nickname?
Jerry.
No, that was Mel B. But never mind. You've got 4. Jerry. Come on. What's Jerry's nickname? What was she? What spice was she?
Ginger.
Well done, you. I mean, it took a while, everybody, but
personally, ginger spice was the worst one for me. Didn't really understand the appeal. Maybe I was too young.
Very tight Union Jack dress. That is all.
On that note, so
swiftly
testing. Have you watched it? Have you caught up with it all? What's your guys' views on testing? Where do we think the order is at the end of testing?
James, you go first because I've got something to say about this.
So, I know we're going to talk about tiebreaker questions later on, but I've got a couple of predictions for tiebreakers. One of them is the constructors as well.
I like that. That's good.
Because we're going to need more than one tiebreaker just in case from one tiebreaker we've still got a tie. So I've got predictions for the Constructors' Championship as well as the championship itself. It's hard to say. Alpha looked good, but at the same time, is it just a case of Alpha was pretty much going for it, whereas the likes of Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull are all, well, let's face it, they're going to be sandbagging. At least you'd think they were sandbagging, as they generally do.
I think Alpha have gone for the headline time, haven't they? That's what it looks like, But do you think any teams are struggling, James, before we get on to Tony? Do you think any are not sandbagging and look crap?
Ferrari?
Really?
Yeah, they've got a little bit of an issue with the bounce. The porpoising's coming in. I don't know. They didn't look great, and obviously, like I just said about Alpha was actually faster than them during testing. So I don't know. It's testing at the end of the day. I mean, all they really want to do, is paint the cars green so they can see what the aerodynamics look like, and is it, the aerofoils they call them, whatever it is. It's
Yeah.
more that they'll know what the vehicle's top speeds are anyway from what they've probably done post-season, but yeah.
Tony, what do you think?
I was really excited for testing, absolutely. And then I watched.
You fell asleep. Sorry.
I was
going to say he saw what happened with Aston Martin. He was like, "Oh,
you might as well have done fallen asleep because you like I spoke to you guys outside of the podcast. You get really excited for bits, and then you don't know if the other teams are sandbagging or they're not playing up to how good they are. So I just feel like it's just a massive, massive minefield, and you've just got to take everything with a pinch of salt. The only way to do that is if you religiously watch every single practice run and you literally break it all down, which nobody's going to do that because we're all working people. So
he's coming from a guy who's always on annual leave.
Yeah.
Hey,
Part-timer over there.
Son of a.
Did you not watch Ted's Development Corner? Did you not watch his notebooks?
I have
Yeah, these guys get paid to do all that stuff you said that no one's got time to do.
one of his notebooks. I've watched none of the development snippets.
Nice.
I have actually read a little bit on the F1 website, which summarizes the testing for each team. But I have listened to a few other things, vodcasts and such. So I'm pretty clued up on who's doing well and who's not doing well.
So
and,
go on.
Yeah.
So who do you think's good, strong? Who do you think's weak?
I'll tell you who's strong right now.
Oh, Aston Martin.
The AMR 23 guys. It's on its look. It's on its way. It's coming. This is the season to be jolly. Aston Martin ran by Stroll with the greatest driver, potentially in some people's eyes,
Latifi's come back.
A previous world champion, Alonso, at the helm. I think they're going to do well. He had a bit of an issue with the floor, and the third driver was coming because of Stroll's injury, who may or may not drive. We still don't really know.
He's not driving this weekend. He's broke his wrist.
I was going to say if he broke his wrists, he won't be driving.
It's that
He's gone to see a MotoGP surgeon that apparently he can strap their wrists up to ride a motorbike. So he's hoping to get back for the next race.
Jesus.
But yeah, Drugovic is replacing him.
So I think, and they look promising. Every media outlet is saying that they are looking better and they're looking good, and they are looking the biggest improvers.
Do you not think though that this is all hype because they've got an ex-Red Bull designer leading it? This is his first car. They've also got someone from Mercedes on the design team. Do you not just think this is all hype that, he's from the Red Bull system, he must be good? Adrian Newey is an absolute genius. I'm sorry, but yeah. Do you think it's fake?
But this guy was under him. And
yeah, right.
I can't remember his name. This guy has also been tried to be poached before. And he hasn't gone, but now he's gone. And I'm just feeling, I don't know. I'm okay. You can say I'm buying into the hype, but Lawrence Stroll, people make businesses. He's putting a lot of money into it. He's made a lot of money, and he's putting money into it. I think it's exciting. It's really exciting there. I think, and they're thinking of doing their own powertrain for 2026. So I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to do really well. Really well.
Who do you think's struggling?
I think Alfa. No, sorry. McLaren struggling.
For a minute there, I thought he was going to do what he was doing on Saturday and just go with everything that James says and go, oh yeah, Alpha doing well. I think Ferrari are doing a bit,
No. These two had matching turtlenecks on when we went out for a meal on Saturday night.
McLaren are not. They're not impressing. They're not doing very well. Lando. Yeah, it's people are saying, is he going to get twitchy feet? Is he going to start thinking, this is not the team for me if I want to win a championship? Piastri, I don't rate him. I think he's come up a bit too quick. Yes, he might be the next best thing since Max Verstappen, but in that car, in that team, I don't think they're going to do well this year, and the testing proved it. So it'll be interesting.
Lando has got himself in a bit of a hole because he signed a long-term deal with McLaren. So he's in it for long haul. He cannot get out of it.
Unless a team buy him out.
But who's going to do that in a cost cap era? No one's going to do that. Unless you're Red Bull and you cheat, but apparently they don't. Oscar Piastri, totally agree with you. I think that he's been hyped up. He's won the junior categories. There's just something about him. I just don't think he's the guy. And
Drive to Survive was interesting. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, let's not spoil it. I totally agree with you, McLaren. I think they've already said that, look, they've got a big upgrade coming and they know that they've designed the car wrong. So I think they're not sandbagging. They're in trouble.
But is that just clever PR?
No.
Their expectations, the McLaren, so they're up there, they've come out and said what they've said. So automatically they've been dropped down. So now you expect them, they're not going to do that good. So you think now, okay, if they're in the midfield pack and they score some points, they're okay.
Yeah, but that's sandbagging to the extreme, though, mate. I mean, I know. Just going back to what I said about Ferrari struggling. To me, they're not the ones that are struggling massively. Out of the top guys, they're the ones that are struggling. McLaren, yeah. Haas, yeah, obviously, but I don't think we can turn around and say McLaren looking the way they did is the ultimate sandbagging. Nah. I think they've genuinely got some trouble.
Look at a few years ago, and I can't remember if it was Button in the car with Lewis or not when he was at McLaren, but they had the side pods that were like an L shape, and they said it come out and it was like a backwards L on the car. And I remember McLaren saying, we've come up with this amazing idea, and they ran it, and Lewis and I'm sure it was Button. Lewis and Button ran the car, and it was absolutely dog shit. And they brought out a Spec B car halfway through the season because they got it so wrong. I honestly think they've done it again. I wouldn't be surprised if for the first 3 or 4 races, they're down there with Williams.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, man. Wow.
I also think the Alpine's struggling. When you look at it in testing, it's built like a go-kart. There's no suspension. There's nothing. And again, whether that's them just doing setup checking, whether they're pushing the limits, I don't know. But the Alpine didn't look very good. I do agree with you, James, with the Ferrari, but I do think that it was bouncing last year and it was still quick. So I think they're going to be quick again. I do think they are going to be quick, but no one's going near Red Bull. That car, the fact that Max gave up his last day of testing, because that tells me everything you need to know about that car. It's last year's car was better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mate, early days, yeah, it really is. I mean, is there other reasons behind Max turning around the last day going, I don't need to do it? I mean, the fact that he did something like 160 odd laps in the thing. I mean, he just pretty much went non-stop, where, a lot of other drivers maybe did about 50, 60 laps in their time in the day. He just sat there and went, I'm just going to keep going round and round. I don't know. I don't know. I know when you look at top lap times last year compared to this year, Red Bull have only improved by about a second, whereas Mercedes have improved by just over 2 seconds, and I think Ferrari have improved ever so slightly as well. But again, it's testing.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
Mercedes, apparently the first 2 races they're going to run with a no side pod. But the rumour is, again, they're going to come with a side pod that really looks like the Red Bull. They're binning off the side pods.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, then you're all copying an Adrian Newey car. And let's be honest, copies are never as good as the original.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So I honestly think, without giving much away from my prediction for the tiebreak, I honestly think that we could have Max running away with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is the first season. He is the outright favourite, and I think he will win it. I completely agree with you, Mark.
The one underlying thing was we fought this last year, and the first race in Bahrain, both Red Bulls had engine troubles and broke down. So
The first couple of races, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, they had a double DNF in the first race, and I think they had, like you say, engine problems in the second one as well.
And the third.
Yeah. So Red Bull have always had a tendency to be a bit of a brittle car. So if Ferrari have sorted out their reliability issues and they aren't using 1,000,001 plans every week, we might actually have a title race this year.
Well, I think it's going to be the opposite to last year in the first race. In terms of the first race, I think Ferrari in testing, they look good, but are they not? They're not sandbagging. I think they're doing I think they're doing the opposite. I think they're trying to hide. We are more reliable. Are they though?
You think they're going for the slow and steady kind of thing?
I think no. The reveal. Look at this car. We're doing a drive around the track. Look how good this car is. Look how confident we are in this car. I think there's still a few issues in there. Definitely. And I think, and I'm allude to my picks later on, I don't think they're going to have a good race. That's my prediction.
Interesting. Anything else about testing? Any news to say? Anything you've seen in the week?
Not off the top of my head. I remember seeing something, but I obviously have completely forgotten it. You will tell us though, Mark. I'm sure you will.
Well, the Spanish GP track, they're getting rid of the last chicane finally, opening up the last 2 corners again. So we're going to have a nice quick track.
Thank you.
They've straightened it up again, haven't they?
Yeah, which I think is the right idea, because obviously they changed it to promote overtaking. They've then changed the cars. And last year, the Spanish GP is sometimes boring. That corner was hindering the cars again.
It was a massive, just shit stain on the race.
But it's a prestigious track.
It is a prestigious track.
Is it?
There's a lot of heritage there.
Barcelona is a very prestigious track. Maybe not in your level of prestigiousness.
I'd say my level of prestige is way up there. Way up there.
But we've seen how brittle you are, because all of a sudden you've binned all your mate gear and you're now on the Isle of the Stroll family bandwagon.
AMR 23. I'm going to get a model.
He's going to grow his eyebrows out and everything to match them.
Well, why don't you go break your wrists? It's a good idea. A bike before the season.
Just sacrifice. I haven't got Lawrence Stroll money. I ain't got Stroll money. Bloody hell. I'm surprised. I'm surprised if that guy comes back with bionic arms, to be honest. Like Dr. Dolittle style. You know what I mean?
All I heard was it wasn't a cycling accident. Apparently, he was giving an arm wrestle to like his 5-year-old niece or something. Or they broke his wrists.
You know what?
Yeah, the interview with her afterwards when she went, "Oh, I broke that pussy ass bitch's arms."
For a split second, I started believing that story. Fucking asshole.
It's really weird how secretive his injuries are.
Yeah, I know.
Because apparently, you hear one report saying that he's broke both his wrists. Then you hear that it's not that bad. It's not like he's not even at the weight bar in. Something's going on.
That's what I mean. Has anybody seen any pictures of him? Like,
no.
By now,
no, he's been grounded.
Maybe that's it. Maybe he didn't do his chores, so he's not allowed to race this week.
He's in a wheelchair, head to toe in casts. That's where he is. Somewhere.
Lawrence shouted at him because he found out how much Lance had spent on green paintwork and green clothes and for some Tony Rawson or something.
Yeah, but it's all right because he made 26 sales this week.
He did, yeah. Andy's let us know at Cookie Cast, everyone, that there's been a massive order placed for a load of Aston Martin gear, and he didn't know where it'd come from, but I think we all know where it has.
Yeah, mate.
I mean, even I'm sporting green tonight, but that's more because I look like Tony, and I won't left out like the weekend without my turtleneck on.
I wonder if your green is Harry Potter related.
No, it's just super dry.
Oh.
What's really bad, I mean, anyone who listens who's not from Hull or anything else like that, they won't know about this Hull KR shirt I've got on. But the green I've got on this, the heritage shirt from a couple of years ago, Mark, is probably really close to the Aston Martin colour.
It probably really is, yeah.
Yeah.
We are all almost, yeah. Got a bit of green on.
I'm not jumping on.
Nah.
Not yet.
No. So, right, should we take a quick break there and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about the Bahrain GP and we'll do our predictions for the weekend.
Absolutely.
And discuss forfeits.
And discuss forfeits and tie breaks, definitely. Right.
Sounds like a plan.
See you on the other side.
See you soon.
Hey, you. Yeah, you that's listening right now. Thanks very much for tuning into this episode of Straight to the Apex, the Formula One podcast from CookieCast. If you're enjoying this episode, why not like, share and subscribe? Whilst you're there, feel free to check out some of the other podcasts that CookieCast has to offer. If you like football, we've got a football podcast. NFL more your thing? Then the Laces Out podcast is for you. Maybe even a little bit of the wrestling. Just look for the Getting Over podcast on CookieCast. Maybe you want to listen to Andy's Darkest Timeline. It's there too. So, the F1 boys have probably got themselves a drink. It's time to get back to the action.
This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome back for part 2. Obviously, before we get going, because breaking news, Tony had some news. Again, just want to promote the Getting Over Wrestling podcast on CookieCast. Get yourselves listening. Obviously, listen to us first, then listening to the wrestling podcast. But if you know anything like wrestling and Formula One, great. If they're just like wrestling, great. If they like football or American football, get them listening to CookieCast. Tony's not on all podcasts, so don't worry about it.
Go on, what that was, Tony? That was advertising there. This is something you promised Andy a couple months ago. It still ain't done.
I think that was very boring and archaic. You just literally read off a list.
What?
Well, show him how it's done.
Yeah, show me how it's done.
Like, I cannot remember an absolute thing you just said.
Well,
I can.
Wow.
Like, what's the... There's an NFL one. What's that called?
So you remembered one thing then. So that was a lie.
What's it called though?
Laces Out.
Laces Out podcast.
I always remember that because of Ace Ventura. Whenever I hear it straight away, I just see Lois Einhorn putting the boot.
Just for Tony's lovely wife? Yes, he is. She'll know what that means. Don't
What's the
worry,
wrestling one called? What's the wrestling one called?
Getting Over podcast. We've also got the Darkest Timeline. We've also got the Football podcast. I mean, apparently I'm boring, so why don't you get all these names and put it in a rap like you promised Andy?
It just begs so many questions.
Bullshit. You're full of shit. Get it sorted. Right.
Getting Over podcast sounds some kind of like raunchy, like rom-com podcast.
Get over it. Right. What's your news?
That'd be getting off on it.
That's even better.
Come on, what's your news?
Anyway, back to the F1 podcast.
What's ours called? Well done.
Straight to the apex. Behind me.
Pissed if he got that wrong.
Well, he listens to that many Formula One podcasts. I'm surprised he didn't get it wrong because he promotes them on there.
Anyway, right. Hot off the press today, Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur, the Premier League team, have signed a deal with F1 about electric karting facility.
Yeah, I saw this earlier.
It's going to be London's longest indoor track below the club's stadium. Separate tracks for adults and juniors.
It's a bit pointless though, because Spurs are doing it, so it's not like you'll get a cup at the end of it.
Exactly. Why are they doing it?
Not a clue.
Anyway,
breaking news.
That was the breaking news.
Wow.
Very good. Very good for karting. A little bit scary that it's round. I mean, I remember back in the day, it should be all about gasoline and flying around a track with grass on it. But oh well, we move on. Kids are esports now. Kids are buying simulators, 15, 16 grand, and they're pro. Jesus.
You're listening to the Grandad podcast with Tony Rawson running about
with me
people.
Said that Mark was boring. You're sitting there going, "Oh, I remember in the good old days.
I know.
Me and me dad, we used to go fishing, and we used to do this. Here you go, Jeff. Have another one that's original."
He's only just 10 fets. He said, God help him in 10 years' time when he's our age, mate.
Hey,
other butterscotch sweets out there available.
What did I have? Did I have 1997 F1 and me on a PS1? And I think my dad made me basically cut MDF, made like a frame that I could stick like a wheel on. And it was like the first and crappiest wheel that you could use to steer the car. And it was terrible graphics, but you felt amazing. It felt ace. But now look at it, it's fucking crazy. Now we can get full like jigs with them all. Like moves, the seat moves.
I'm waiting for the link to and that's why I beat Mark at go-karting in Leeds. But no,
I mean, there's no need to, Mark, because you keep reminding everybody about that. It's nice to know that I live rent free in your mind.
I am not getting over that. Which is another pun to the Getting Over Wrestling podcast.
There we go.
There we go. Yes. That's advertising.
Out of nowhere.
Anyway, Bahrain Grand Prix. Saturday we've got qualifying, 3 p.m. Race Sunday, 3 p.m. 57 laps, 5.412 kilometers a lap. Last year, we had quite an interesting race with a few breakdowns. There was a pit incident where the pit closed and Hamilton missed his chance to pit, and I think he finished third, but he was down in 10th or 11th, I seem to remember. There's a few issues last year. So, let's talk about the predictions. So, obviously, I lost last year. James won. We've done the shoey. I did the shoey on the video. James thought it'd be interesting and wanted to do a shoey. Tony chickened out.
Yeah, it kind of ruined the idea of it being a forfeit because I thought that looks kind of interesting, actually. I want to give it a go now.
So what's the forfeit for this year? And he doesn't get to decide because I'm not jumping out of a plane. We're not doing anything stupid like that.
We've got to agree all.
All right, okay. What's your ideas? Float your ideas.
I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot of things that I can cover.
Right.
Shuey again. I thought of an absolute corker.
Okay.
Okay, go on.
The loser has to get a small tattoo of the name of a car. And it could be, or the loser could get a small tattoo of our podcast. Like 2 pence piece, size 50p pence.
I mean, that's an idea. Let's keep.
I had a similar idea earlier, but then I thought, yeah, but it's another Ricardo thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is true. Actually, yeah. Let's keep thinking.
Loser could go into the North Sea on a freezing cold day at the end of the season.
Do the other two get to push him in? Because I'm all up for that.
I mean, the other person can sit there and watch and video and laugh and.
I mean, if it's you, I'm sure that Beth will supply the bricks, and we can chuck you in the North Sea with some bricks around your ankles.
Well, I
like that.
I quite like that. Just generally,
I mean,
the bricks bit, just
just
dash into the North Sea.
What about an ice bath? What about you have to get an ice bath?
Oh, that's terrible. Don't do that.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah, because you can buy.
It's be something you enjoy. Well, loser goes out and gets a full body massage. It's not like that. It's supposed to be something that's just awful.
I lost again. What a shame.
Yeah. Can we go to this place where you get the happy ending though this time? I'd be really, really upset if I had to get a happy ending.
Well, that sounds better than waterboarding, to be honest.
If you haven't tried it.
So, what we doing first? Are we doing? Well, let's do our picks first. Then our partners have also done some picks.
That's ultimate humiliation, by the way. This year, if we get picked by our wife, and
right,
yeah,
we all know my wife's like the F1 guru.
Yeah.
There was one episode last year where we made some kind of comment about, can you remember who won the championship so many years ago? I told Charlie about it, and then she went and told me who had won it every year for the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's just sad.
I mean, well, every time I meet her, she has something to say about my my knowledge and on a certain episode, or she always lets me know how feedback. And I always appreciate it. So, Charlie,
I don't see it's feedback. It's just full on criticism. It's just like, shit.
Your knowledge. I mean,
feedback is feedback.
Well, yeah,
feedback is feedback.
So, Tony, you wanted to go first. So, what are your picks for the Bahrain Grand Prix this week?
I mean, just for the record, I'm going first because I want to be not accused of anything, being swayed by anybody, and also when the picks come in, you can all bow down to me as well as your wives, as well as all the viewers. Tony, you're a genius.
Go on.
All right.
Yep.
So I've got first. You'll never guess. Max Verstappen.
Wow. Okay. Second,
I've got Perez.
Not Ricardo. Not yet.
Well, he's coming third.
Yeah.
That's how far Tony's fucking genius goes.
So third,
I've got the main man, Aston Martin Racing.
You've
And
gone
that
for
is
Alonso, haven't you?
Alonso. Yeah, baby.
Who? Alonso, yeah?
Okay.
Yep.
So there's no cheater bits. Give me Beth's 3 predictions. And if they're the same as yours, you've got to change yours.
Beth's 3 predictions are different.
Good.
And they are Charles to win, Max second, Lewis third.
That's interesting.
Okay. James.
She's a Ferrari bum boy.
You're getting smacked for that. James, what are your picks?
So I've gone for Max for the win.
Yeah.
I've gone for Lewis in second.
Yeah.
And I've gone George third.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Woody himself.
And
If-
Charlie
Oh, go on.
Charlie has gone for Max,
Yep.
Lewis, and Perez.
Ooh.
Yeah, quite juicy, that, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
Wonder who
Before
else?
my- before my picks, I'll just remind everybody the point system is you get 3 points for the driver in if you get it correct for first place, 2 points for second place, 1 point for third, and you get an extra bonus point if you get all 3 of them. They are the rules. They are set in stone. Jobs are good. So my picks, I mean, it's no surprise. Max Verstappen is going to win, followed by Mr. Charles Leclerc, closely followed by the other red Ferrari, Carlos Sainz.
Interesting.
Katie's picks, she did want to pick Daniel Ricciardo. He no longer races.
Well,
She did want
a
to
few
pick
races.
Sebastian Vettel. He no longer races. So Katie has gone for Lewis
Rubens
Hamilton.
Barrichello.
I was going to say Button.
Lewis Hamilton first. Sergio Perez second. And Charles Leclerc third.
Who's third?
Charles Leclerc.
Wow.
Because she doesn't want to pick Max because she hates him.
Well,
I mean, that would be good if that was the general rules of it.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You're automatically disqualified if you're a twat.
Well, bye-bye Red Bull. So, obviously,
are we allowed to
need
explain?
we need some tiebreaker questions. So what we've decided to do is for the tiebreaker, we're going to pick your top 3 end of season constructors. And are we picking top 3 the Drivers' Championship as well?
That's what I've got here, yeah. Championship and then Constructors' Championship.
Okay, who would like to go first with what?
I'll happily go first for both.
Okay, go for it.
We'll do it that way. So Championship,
Yeah.
believe it or not, is pretty much the same as my predictions for this weekend. Max is going to win it.
Yeah.
Then it's going to be Lewis in second and then George third, I think.
Okay.
For Constructors, I'm going for Mercedes.
Ooh, right.
Because I think there is going to be some serious blowout in Red Bull with the whole Perez, Ricciardo, Verstappen thing. So I think Verstappen's going to romp off with the championship, but it's all going to fall apart.
I like it.
So I've got Mercedes to win the Constructors, Red Bull second, and Ferrari third.
I like it. I like it. I like it. So, do you want me to go next, Tony, or have you got yours?
You go next, Mark. You go next.
So, my drivers will be Max Verstappen winning the driver's title.
Yep.
I also think Lewis Hamilton will be second. And I think third will be, I think it'll be Leclerc.
Okay.
So constructors,
Go for it.
I love where you're coming from, James. Love it. Unfortunately, I think we're going to win. I do think that Merck will pip Ferrari into second, and I'm going to put Ferrari third.
So Red Bull first, yeah?
Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari.
Ferrari.
The same.
Tony's going to have Aston Martin winning the constructors.
Yeah.
Go on, Tony. So your drivers first.
Max to win.
Yep.
Now, my heart says Lewis, but I just feel like well, we can't sing that anymore. Lewis.
You're going to go for Lewis?
Yeah, because I'll be devastated if he and then I've gone Leclerc.
So our tiebreaker is tie-breaking.
Yeah.
Right. So what's your constructors? Hopefully this will be different. Oh God, not a good start. Red Bull. Yeah. Say Aston Martin. Please say Aston Martin.
I think they'll get fourth Aston Martin.
Okay. So who's second?
Mercedes. You're counting on a Ferrari reliability issue again, and Mercedes are coming back stronger, supposedly. The testing looked good, but then Ferrari looked good.
Just think it. You think the same as me, don't you?
Because I think the Mercedes are a lot more drilled, are a lot strategy wise, are a lot better. I think Ferrari will get caught up in similar problems as they did last year.
Is this the truth, Tony? Is this the? Do you think Merck and Ferrari? Because I've got a source on the inside, and they're telling me, can't confirm or deny who it is. It might be Molly, the dog. You want to say Red Bull, Ferrari, and Merck, but you've changed your mind all of a sudden because of man. What's this all about?
I am torn between Merck and Ferrari. And Merck did finish stronger. I do think Mercedes will outpoint Ferrari.
So you're going Red Bull, Merck, Ferrari.
Because I don't think that Ferrari car, I think Ferrari have had their season, and I think they're going to bounce back a little this season. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last season. I don't think they will. Right. I think the others have caught up now. And I also think Sainz is a better driver than Leclerc, but Leclerc is their number one driver. And the new guy in there has said he is not scared to go 1-2. I think that's going to cause problems. And now I'm speaking completely. And that brings me to my question. Will Lewis and Russell have a tussle this season? Who's there 1 and 2?
Oh, how long have you been thinking of that line? Will Lewis and Russell have a tussle?
Nice.
Did I just rhyme and I didn't even think about it? I don't
So
think...
you're going Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, yeah?
Yeah, out of everything, yeah. And then I've got...
So, because you've been a
Aston
bit of a
Martin.
pleb and just picked the exact same thing as Mark, if you two come for a tie now, you made it very tricksy. So what I'm going to do...
Well, I've just thought of something, but go on. I was going to do a tie of the tie, but I guess you've got the same idea.
Well, no,
I've got another tie. I've got another tiebreaker question.
Let me go first then.
I'm going to keep it off
until the
the
end.
podcast.
Oh,
I'll message them both separately.
Right, okay, that's an idea. My idea is go through the whole constructors.
Jesus.
So my idea was we have 23 races this year. We've all gone for Max to win it. So the tie break was, how many races would he win?
Well, that's a good one as well.
But I think we'll do this one on the podcast then, now, and then we'll keep James's off air as a backup for the backup for the backup. So
Jesus.
Include you, James. So 23 races, because obviously China's been cancelled, so not the 24. You think Max is going to win the championship? How many races do you think he'll win this season?
Hang on, I'm running out of bloody notepaper here. Fucking backups of backups of backups.
He'll win.
I'm trying to think what he won last year.
He'll win 18 races.
Do you want me? So he won 15 last year, and that was a record.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll change my mind. He'll win.
Oh no, you said yours.
No.
17.
None.
17.
What was your first one?
17.
No, it wasn't. What was your first one?
It was 18.
Was it? So
it's on the recording, set in stone.
You're having
mine's
14.
14.
Yours 14.
Yep, so I'm 14, Tony's 18.
I'm going to say he'll win 12.
Wow.
Odd. Yeah, I don't. Last season was a bit of a record breaking. I think he'll be consistent. I just don't think he'll win. It's a bit of a freak on it in winning 15 out of the 22 races, what there was last year. But Tony's gone big, he's gone 18. So that's our third tie break. And then James will be the deciding tie break if Tony's still, well, we shouldn't be, but let's see. I like this idea of a secret one that neither of us know.
Who will be the best rookie this season? Who will score the most points?
Well, is there only 2 rookies?
No, there's 3. You've got
Nick De Vries.
Oh, you can't call him a rookie. He's
Logan
not a
Sargent.
rookie.
that was the other one. I was trying to remember the third one.
Yeah.
Piastri.
De Vries I think De Vries is going to do the best out of a lot of them because he's not a rookie. He's not a rookie.
I think Sargent.
Yeah.
I think Sargent will score more points. 100%.
What, in a Williams? Okay. Interesting. I mean,
Why is it so surprised me? He's cheering on Aston Martin.
Well, I know. I really don't know what he's sniffing lately, but it's definitely something.
Whatever it is, I want some.
Yeah. Any other business?
I'm trying to think of some more meaty questions to put to you both before the first race. Do you think the McLaren will score points?
No.
Wow.
Do you think, James, what do you think?
I'd expect him to score points in the entire season, yeah.
Oh yeah. I thought we were talking about first race.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
First race. Will they score?
In first race?
Yeah.
No, I think they will.
I don't know.
I think Norris will have a paddy again.
We know we should love Norris.
We might punch another wall or door or throw Teddy out the window or something.
Ocon and Gasly. Will they still be getting on by the end of the year?
No.
No.
Yes.
They will be getting on by race 3.
Yes. And I think Gasly will outperform Ocon, and I think Gasly will win another race this year.
Do we think Ricciardo will be in the Red Bull by the end of the year?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no, because everybody else is saying yes.
I'm going to say from about 5 races from the end.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I do think something's going to kick off with Perez.
Well,
So, around mid-season, it's all really going to start kicking off.
Hasn't that Marco already said something? Hasn't he already alluded to Ricciardo and Perez? Like,
what, that Ricciardo's driving faster than him?
Yeah, like there's Perez is on like, yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Will Tsunoda do well? Will he do better than last season? Will he lead the others?
No. He's not a strong enough leader. Gasly's gone, and I think Tsunoda's too up and down.
Who else? Trying to think. Hopefully, the marshalling will be a lot better this year. Hopefully, the FIA will have.
You mean the stewarding?
The stewarding.
That's what you're looking for, aren't you?
In the FIA.
You need to read that book, mate, because it'll be under M. And for marshals, what they do. S, stewards, what they do. F for FIA. Oh, mate, read it. It'll blow your mind.
Will we have another mishap? Will there be drama?
What, from the stewards?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always controversy some point during the season stuff. I don't think you'll have drama, because really when you think drama now, you think, last race in 2021. So yeah, I don't think you'll ever get any drama. There'll be controversial calls and stuff like that as always, but that's probably about it.
Well, the head of the FIA's gone missing, hasn't he? Not as in missing, but he's not turned up to Bahrain. There's a bit going on with him. So
Toto's got him tied up.
No, Mikey, no.
Little bit like that scene out of Casino Royale. He's sat on a wicker chair with no bottom on there, and Toto stood there with like a big rope and a knot on the end of it.
I've got a tickle.
Are you going to do any stupid things? What happens when a safety car goes in?
I wonder if Russell will tangle with anybody again in the first corner.
Well, watch this space. It's all gonna go. I just hope we get better racing again. I hope this season is. I honestly hope, and I hope. I can't believe I'm saying this. I hope Tony is right and Aston Martin join the party, because if we do have 4-5-way fight for races, it will blow it up. It will be really interesting. I just can't see it. But I hope Tony Rawson is right. And I never thought I'd say those words. Ever. I'm disappointed in myself.
And Alonso,
sorry, mate, you go and brush your teeth.
I know. So on that note, I think we'll end it, because I'm just going to go have a long, hard look at myself in the mirror saying that I hope Tony Rawson's right.
Wow. Episode 2. And we've got that bombshell already. And we've got a record. Fantastic.
I know. I mean, I just, if you're right, I don't know. The world might as well blow up, because God help if you're right.
Oh. Alonso, 3rd world championship.
Oh, no. We've got that on the recording. We have got that on the recording. Fernando Alonso, 3rd world title with Aston Martin. Wow. You have really bought in.
Honestly.
On that note, I mean, that's a bombshell. Top Gear used to love ending on a bombshell. That was our bombshell. Fernando Alonso, world champion 2023. You've heard it here first. As always, thank you to you guys, James Stainforth and Mr. Alonso is going to be champion, Tony Rawson. Bahrain Grand Prix this weekend. The season is back. Let's hope it's a good one. Until next time, thank you. See you next time.
See you soon.
See you later, guys.
So there you go. What do you think of that? Another one done. Another fantastic podcast. Big thanks to the guys. Big thanks to you for listening. Big thanks to you for watching. Before you go, one last thing. Please do think about clicking that subscribe button. Clicking like while you're there. Drop us a review. That means a lot to us. Share the podcast around. Tell people. If you've got a Formula One fan in your life, you like this podcast, they're bound to like it. Check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we've got some social media links and an email button. That way you can get in touch with us. That's it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to Cookie Cast.